Everyone, today we have GBPUSD. So today what happened was on the August of 13th, they swiped liquidity. They swiped liquidity over here. Instead of closing below here, they swiped liquidity. So we knew they're going to attempt to take out this high and this high. So is a QM. Took out almost all the liquidities in this trade. This is the recent high, and this other high here, previous days. So they swept the high of yesterday, closed above it, and they went for this high. So that was not the main. That was not the main thing here. The main thing is our entries. So yesterday I told you that we are forming a series of higher highs and higher lows. This should combine this first touch of the line, because this was too sharp. So this two is called first touch of the line, this is second touch of the line. So the touch of the line happens somewhere around the London time. So around the Asia time, yeah, that was where the third touch of this line happened. But it actually did not touch the line, so we knew that okay, there's still a very strong uptrend over here. So let's start by labeling, because that's how we start our analysis. It's our analysis by giving it very good label so that we know what is happening. So this is first touch of the line. So that was why I told you the other time that since we are forming this bullish upward, they're going to take out this high of yesterday. This line you're seeing here is previous day's high. Let me label it blue. Is that previous day's high? The previous day's high was this was the previous day's high. This is what I was here. This was the previous day's high. So I told you they're going to take out the previous day's high. Let's go to daily candle to confirm that the previous day's high. Yes, that was exactly the previous day's high. They took out previous day's highs and lows. That was what they did. Yesterday, they just came and took out the previous day's high. How did I know they're going to take out this previous day's high? How I knew they're going to take out that previous day's high is because we are forming a series of upward movements. This is a kind of a consolidation, and this is after a pull. Remember, if you went through baby peeps, you know that after a pull we have a consolidation and have continuation. That was what we had, but so we had a little consolidation here, so we didn't know whether this will work out. But normally it should work out, because after a great move to the upside, when is this liquidity has been taken out. Remember I told you about liquidity zones. This liquidity has been taken out. All these liquidities, all these are call them trendline liquidities. All these trendline liquidities have been taken out. So we're going to come back to this. So when we have this consolidation, this was another opportunity for us to enter. Whenever you have a liquidity like this on the downside, and you have upward movement with this kind of consolidation happening here, you know that they're going to take out the less liquidity. So this was an opportunity. When they breached this trend line, you know this is the second touch of the line. When they took out this one, you knew that okay. Due to that bad PPI news, was how they took out this high. So we knew that okay, this is the second touch of the line, and the third touch of the line happens within. You don't need, I told you before, we don't need the line to touch for us to know that a third touch of the line has happened. Because I've learned this from experience. So third touch of the line always happens inside the line, or it can happen anywhere else it wants to happen. So it can happen within the line or sometimes outside the line. So it's a very technical stuff. Aware of the way it was trying to deceive us. So what happened here is that let's go to the 5 minutes, because that's 5 minutes and 1 minute. This is where we normally do our entries, because we normally make our entries or execute our entries. It's in the 1 minute, and because that's where we normally see juicy entries as day traders, as snipers. So for this trading strategy now, you can still all these candles are bold. I'm not seeing things here. What happened here? At 3 p.m., some people try to make some buys over here. Even though you see this huge spike in price here, there were a lot of sellers at this price. So there was a lot of sellers at this price, and where is mine? Where is my? There was a lot of sellers at this price. A lot of selling action at this price. So that 3 p.m. if you were awake, you would have noticed that okay, they're trying to make they were trying to make a lot of sales to cancel, but you know there's a great clue here. Understand? So this was a kind of a difficult situation because this market made a very huge crash but failed to break a new low. You see yesterday when they had this crash, they moved all this way, they failed to break a new low. Instead they took out this high. Hit this level. So some people were thinking that okay, we'll still make a sell. Let's touch it. They came here and made this low. So I was thinking that. So we had a very interesting move. Where this move started becoming interesting is by 3 a.m. GMT plus 1 time. So this was the time, Asia time. This was this time that the market started becoming interesting. We had this great consolidation over here, and the market tried to breach it. How did they breach this consolidation line? By forming this series of upward movements. When I saw this series of upward movements, I know that okay, they're about to target this high. That was the first thing that came to my mind. They're about to target this high. I knew they would take out this high. This daily high is already in danger. This daily high is already in danger. When I saw this kind of consolidations around it, was you see the pool that happened around here? Yes, a very big pool trying to take the price all the way to this downside. But what happened was that they were able to take out the liquidity and form all this series of movement. So here you can't take entries here because the candles were too volatile. This is a high volatility candle. These candles we are seeing are too volatile. And you can't see entries. So we need to go to the 1 minute to see what is happening on price action and see whether we can get sniper entries on make money. So what happened at 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock is the most volatile time. I tell you that's the time I make was on entry. At 7 o'clock I said okay, we have an additional high here. I will have a close liquidity zone here, and we can see we have some liquidity. We have a consolidation over here. I tell you that at 7 o'clock we try to do some manipulation. It's always this is history. It has always done that. So when I came here, what did I see? I saw okay, this is the recent sign. So I knew that people would try to sell it and go here. The pip count is just 1:3. 1 pip to 3 pips. So if somebody had caught this, they would have been lucky. I don't know if some brokers will allow it, but it's 1 pip to 3. You'd have risked it. But me, I decided not to risk it because the pip count was too low. Assuming it was 6 pips, I would have taken it. But I don't like taking this kind. I'll keep observing 1:3 to see whether it's a good or viable position. So I'd not take any entry at 7 o'clock because the pip count is still low, but it worked out. I drew this actually. I drew this people this thing, but I did not take the entry. So I kept waiting for entries because look, can you see these candles were too volatile. Like it was moving. If you were around that time, you see that this candle moving. They were moving with speed. So what happened there was we had a break of structure. How do you know we had a break of structure? That's why I say trend lines are very important. So people will know that there was use trend lines to organize your chart. If you don't organize your chart with trend lines, it might be difficult for you to interpret them. That's the problem. Some people don't know. Trend lines are very important while trading. It helps you organize your chart, and it's very important. What's happened here? We are having series of higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. This is a consolidating channel. So what happened? They broke out of this channel. We mark the other block that broke out that channel. I know a good other block always has a fair value gap or has a very huge pool. So this is the other block, and this is the pool. We mark our green line because I tell you, this is volume displacement. I'll already take my own place after you bring the volume displacement. So what happened? I was waiting for entries when I saw this scroll, I said, okay, yes, I'm going to take my entry around this pool here. So that was why you see these entries here. I took my first entry here, and I took my next entry to this daily high. So this is 6 hour. 6 hour documented. So once I saw that, I still saw, okay, I came the next minute and I'm seeing that they are still forming series of higher highs and higher lows. I was like, what's wrong with these people? Why are these people not giving up? I don't they want to give up. The buys were just too much. I don't know why they were taking so much buys today or this day. The buys were just too much. They just keep making higher highs, higher lows here. I just saw how they breach. Did they actually took out this? So they were making higher highs and higher lows over here, higher highs, higher lows. So we hit this level, and let me do something here. I think I can clone this. But I cloned it before. So this is clone. This is something I want. So when I clone this, and I saw that okay, they are trying to take out. It closed above this level. They tried to breach, take out this. But what I know is that I saw another opportunity for entry just before 11 o'clock. I saw they make the huge coup they made here. Came here, registered, went here, and you see these great guys that proved this process, this done, so it's high coup. It was a high coup here. They took out those levels. So I was like, okay, they're going to defend this level very well. They're going to defend it because they know that they take out this level. So that's why I targeted this level. I just made a reasonable guess over here. This is 57 pips. Because another 3 hour documented. Which is a total of 9 hour over here. So you can see they almost took me out here. But I don't know why I took this entry. But why I took this entry was there was a very huge. This other block made this huge pull to the upside. I wanted to take an entry here, but it was too close. So I said, let me take it on the other block. Because we are just highly bullish. So we were taking our bullish entries. And I was thinking they were going to reverse from this 1.352. But I was very wrong. They kept moving up. This is 12 o'clock New York time. They blasted the upside again. This was drawn from the 5 minutes. Let's go to the 5 minutes to see where this was priced. It's drawn from the 5 minutes. So on the 5 minutes, we had another huge pull. Yeah, this is a very 5 minutes. There was a strong other block here that made this play. Let me get this other block for you. So this was the other block and breaker block, but yeah, this was a strong level that led to this whole movement here. So that's why I was looking for entries around here. I was also trying to draw some MSN level, but if I try to draw it here, it might take this chart might take a very long time. So that was why you saw me when we made this pool. I tried to take some entries around here. Yes, I tried to take some entries around here, but the market took me out because I was like, okay, we are highly bullish, so let me see if I can get one entry. So I lost 1 hour around this region. I can remember very well. So this was the point, and the market actually tagged me in, but it failed also. This was a very good trade. So I wanted to take an entry here, but I also had another backup here. So that's how I always trade. I always have backups. So I tried to take an entry here, but that's what. So I tried to take an entry here when this market was coming down. It was a good. There was a huge pull over here. Still entry position. This was the entry position. This pull over here. This I don't want to take. Here was just too high, so it was this zone. Around this zone, I tried to make another entry around this zone, but I was taken out. Understand? So I was taking out there, so I lost 1 hour, not. So I came here also and I thought we were making series of that, but I just took an entry here also, but as a backup. But when I see this huge movement here, I think they're going to still. This is New York, 14 o'clock, where a lot of money comes into the market. So lots of money was induced in the markets at New York. I know New York, they usually have it. This is a minor news that came out, and that was why we saw this massive movement here. We saw this massive. There was a news that came out at this level, at this 13:30. If you come here, you see that news. This is retail sales, core retail sales data came out. So this is it, core retail sales data came out. Everything negative again. However, you saw that huge spike to the upside. That's why you saw this huge spike to the upside. So this was the news data that came out. And before that news data, you would have got another entry here, but before that news data, you see the crash that happened. This crash that happened was before the news data. So when immediately that news came out, they made all this spike and did this 1.35 and this news that came out was what inspired this whole move to the upside from the New York Times. You know, one thing about New York is once they come and they see news, it inspired all these moves. So when this market crashed, it gave more opportunities for entries because the news was too bad. So the news data also contributed to the move. So when I knew that okay, even though I saw this huge crash that took me out, because I wanted to take more buys. I didn't see this bar. I didn't even expect this bar. And I didn't consider the news as a huge factor. But when I saw this spike to the upside, I knew that okay, this must be a news effect. So when they took me out, I took another entry, one another trade. I was thinking that this level is going to reverse the price. But they breached it. So maybe they breached it. I took this other block or breaker block. There's a breaker block here that I used and take another entry. And I even took 2 entries because I like taking multiple entries on New York because that's where there's a lot of money. So I took an entry here, which is 3:9 groups, just to take out this. I would have put my stop loss below here. I would have put this stop loss below here, but it would be too low. So let me just use 9 point something. But this was very risky. So I took it here and I took the other one. This one I was ready to lose the money. To this high. This high is the liquidity, is the highest point of liquidity we had before the is this liquidity. Yes, now this high you are seeing here is this liquidity. Can you see this liquidity? Yeah, that's the one. So that's the greatest of all greatest. I call them the greatest of all greatest liquidity. So that's why we took our next entry there. This liquidity, this trend line liquidity we started with, that was where I took out my exit. So after taking out that trade, that was the end of the trading session for the day. I tried to take some other entry.